Hey guys, it's Ashley with 3R Sales and Service. Today we're taking a look at a Dodge Ram ProMaster van. This is a 2500 series with the extended cargo area and the extended top. This has two 8-gallon-a-minute cold water pressure washers that can be used individually or tied together to be used as 16 gallon per minute. So we'll go ahead and take a look up front here. Right now you're kind of seeing some of the additional cargo space that we had available for storage or for future add-ons like a soft wash system or whatnot. So we have a 24-inch surface cleaner up here, a couple of their wands. The tanks consist of three 100-gallon tanks that are tied together to make a 300-gallon tank. We use that particular method to keep it nice and compact. And then we have a 55-gallon bleach tank, a 35-gallon winterizing tank, because this one's going to New York, and then we have a 7-gallon surfactant tank. So those ones are a little easier to view from the back side of the van, but that just kind of goes over all the tanks that we have on board here. This 1-inch hose here is the drain for the three 100-gallon tanks. So this is operated just by opening and closing this valve here. If you need this drain to be extended further, you can always add an additional section of hose with a 1-inch thread, and you can drain that as far as you need it to go. We have a couple batteries in here. These are for the electric starts on the pressure washers, and also one of them is a bigger battery that holds enough charge in order to power the electric reels that are on board as well. We will go ahead and move around back and get a better view of everything from the rear of the van. Okay, so from the rear, you can see we've got the two pressure washers stacked, one on top of the other. Both of them have Honda GX690 engines with the electric starts, and both of those engines have hour meters on them, so it's very easy to keep track of maintenance. They have the T-Series general belt-driven pumps, which is a nice heavy-duty high-flow pump that we use on a lot of our builds. Both of these systems are tied into the hose reels here. So how we have this set up is we have one hose reel that's got 200 feet of 3/8 hose that you can use just with your standard 8-gallon per minute setup. And then we have another hose reel here that has 1/2-inch hose on it at 200 feet. And you can use that for a standard 8-gallon setup, or you can tie them together, which is how they're plumbed. We just have a couple valves that you turn that you can use both pressure washers through one hose for a full 16 gallon per minute. So it gives you the opportunity to either shoot further distances or you can use much larger surface cleaners. So the one that was on board up there is a 24-inch. You can go up to a 48-inch surface cleaner whenever you're tying both of these together and just get a lot more speed when cleaning, cover a lot more area. All three of these reels are Titan electric rewind hose reels. The pressure washer ones have a stainless steel 1/2-inch manifold on them, and then the bottom one is our high flow reel. So it's got a 1-inch manifold that allows us to use the garden hose feed to fill the tank, and it goes a lot faster when it's not restricted through a smaller manifold. So we have 200 feet of the 3/4-inch hose there. All these buttons here is what controls the rewind whenever you're reeling them in, and then we have our own connectors that we install in the front just to keep everything in place and keep it nice and tidy. The high pressure reels have ball valves on them. That just gives you the ability to switch accessories. So using your spray wand, turn off the high pressure water, and then you can switch accessories over to like a surface cleaner or any other attachments that you have. It also allows you to turn this hose off whenever you want to use both pressure washers through this assembly here, so you don't have anything that's coming through this hose. Behind me, we have a 22-gallon gas tank. This supplies both pressure washers. There's two feeds, so it goes directly to both pressure washer units. And it does have a gauge on top, so you can always tell what level you're at. But it's much, much easier to be able to fill and go a day or two in between having to fill again, depending on how many hours you're putting on the units. I'm gonna switch sides here. Is that all right? Give you a better, or is that not working? This way? Okay. So, we have two manifolds on the wall here. So up top, this is our downstream manifold. So this allows you to pull different soaps through the soap injector on the pressure washers. So you can blend your bleach, you can blend bleach with surfactant or any other, if you want another surfactant, or if you have a degreaser that you want to use, you can turn off your bleach and use only what's coming out of what they call the dip tube. And then we just have that placed right behind here. So you can take this out, close off these two lines, open up this one here, and be able to pull a degreaser or any other type of specialty detergent that's not on board. Or you could simply throw this into in one of the water tanks to rinse out your system easily too. So this manifold is connected to both hose reels, so you can use it with one or the other or both pressure washers. The transfer pump manifold is what we use in order to take your bleach or your detergents from outside the vehicle and transfer them to the tanks inside the vehicle. So if you have a drum of bleach, you can turn on the 7 gallon a minute pump. It'll transfer 7 gallon per minute to your 55 gallon tank and get that transferred within just a few minutes. It also connects to the winterizing tank and all of those less accessible tanks. Other than that, we have all kinds of ways that we try to make this as user-friendly and accessible as possible, because with these van builds, it's very tight. It's hard to reach everything. It's also hard to fit everything, so there's a lot of fabrication that goes into it as well. But we have the high pressure nozzles, easily accessible. We've got drain hoses on the pump and on the engine for both units, easier maintenance. We have bleeder valves on the pressure washer pump heads that are used to keep air from getting stuck in the line between the water tank and the pressure washer. So it bleeds the air out of the line and it primes the pump head, so you have much easier startups and you don't have to worry about burning up any seals in that pump head. We also have cool bypass hooked up on the pumps, which means whenever you're using the pressure washer and you let off the trigger, the pump has to cycle water through it constantly. So we're allowing it to cycle from the water tank back to the pump head and keeping it nice and cool and protected from overheating and again, damaging the high pressure end of those seals. We have our soap injectors on the swivels for the pressure washers. So easy to access, easy to adjust them if you want to, easy to rebuild them in place if you wanted to. So again, just trying to make it as easy and as accessible as possible to get you in and out of the jobs very quickly. So if you have any other questions on this system, how it's put together, any modifications you'd like to make to something similar to what you want, just give us a call. We'll have more information on our website at 3rpressurewashers.com. Thanks.